ETC's Augmented, it's pronounced Augmented, not Augment3d, but it's got the 3D in the name. How clever is that? Augmented is ETC EOS's visualization software. It's baked into the program, which is really sweet. It's a virtual space that allows a designer to envision what lights might look like before actually going into the theater. This is a great way to do work at home before going into the space, or even to do initial design work before the lights are even hung. And for the purposes of this course and this class, something like this, Augmented allows you to play around and see what you're doing without having to worry about sharing a space or getting a giant fancy pants light board or buying all the lights in the world or asking your friends to hang crap for you. Anyway, in our first few worksheets, we're going to utilize this set of white shapes that I actually have in my classroom. When you open up your worksheet, you won't see, however, lit shapes like this. You're going to see a dull gray world that's just begging to be lit. However, it's possible, though, that when you open it up, the camera in Augmented won't properly be oriented. So I think it's important to understand how to move things around in space. So first thing that's really important is you click on the Augmented window, and you'll find this yellow line that goes around the window. That means you have control of that display. If things don't look good, you can always go back home, which can be done by changing the camera settings. So if I click here, we can see the home button and a couple of bookmarks here. So if I press home, it's going to move the camera to this kind of saved location. If you don't like that, that's just fine, because you can change things around. So number one is, once again, once we have this window click, you can use your arrow keys. This is going to pan the camera to the left and right, or to the up, or to the down. It's just kind of this Z and Y and X axis movement. So to the left, to the right. So kind of get located in there. Number two is you can scroll. So I'm going to use a double finger scroll, or if you have a mouse that has a scroll wheel, that's going to go in and out. So we can use these things in combination. So if I want to get a wider look, I'm going to zoom out, and then I'll use my up arrow to get a little bit higher. But we can also tilt and tip the camera by right-clicking on the window and dragging around. So if I control-click or right-click, I can move the camera the way that it's actually facing. So we can move around and then use the arrow keys, move around and use the arrow keys. Once you like the setting and like the look that you've got, you can always click on the camera mode right here and say, this is what I want as my home. So I'm going to click and hold the home button until the view updated kind of mark is there. Now, if I go to a different spot, that's not right. I can click home again and go back to what I have just created. So the thing that I've made for you might not be right for your screen. Number two, kind of an awesome thing, is that I can change the lighting settings. So if I click the light options here, we've got what you can see here. So number one, you can change the intensity. How bright is the light? So perhaps the lights that you're using aren't going to be quite as bright. I can always change how intense it feels. Blah, that's horrible. I like a good 65, 75. I think that 100% or full is just too bright and everything looks washed out. So something a little bit less than that. You can also change the beam intensity. So the beams that you see coming through here, how bright are those? I can even turn on or off the presence of haze in the space. I like a good medium intensity. Having low just is kind of boring in my taste. And then finally, you can change how much ambient light there is. Currently, I have it on low. Sometimes I'll bump it up if I need to figure out exactly where I want to be with my camera. But what I really like is turning it off. Now, all of a sudden, we've got objects that are just popping off in the black. How beautiful is that? Let's paint some light in the darkness.